Bim! Guess what? It's just gone 11. It's Saturday night just, and it is Saturday night gaming, and the game I'm going to play tonight is a game I've never played before. In fact, I had to actually barter to be able to play with it. Basically, someone wanted to buy this game, and someone bought Astro Bot yesterday, so I couldn't do it for the Valentine's one. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you have it. I'll do you a deal on something else, as long as I can, you buy it next week, and I can play it this week. So, the game that I fought for, was Zero Time Dilemma. I know. I was like, what the stupid person are you? And then I realised I'm an incredibly stupid person, so I kind of went with it. So yeah, we've got a game that I know very little about. It is on the PS4, playing it on the PS5, hence the PS5 controller that we've got here. And it basically comes up with this thing where it says 9 people find themselves trapped within an underground shelter. A mysterious figure in a mask appears before them and forces them to play the decision game. The only way to escape, is it though? 6 people must die. Who to kill? Who will survive? The fate of mankind rests in their decision. You're like, hang on a minute. There's 9 people in this, whatever it is, but the fate of mankind rests on their decision? What? They lose their memory every 90 minutes. The conclusion to the Zero Escape trilogy. I've never even heard of Zero Escape. Never mind, a trilogy. It's an 80 certificate. It's got bad language, and it's got violence. Well, if you're killing people, it will have, won't it? So it's basically, I would imagine, like Big Brother meets Crystal Maze meets what's it called? Squid Game. There you go. So that's what my brain has come up with. Now, IT, maybe it is. There you go. I'm not Stanley. I'm one of 9 people. Look, 9 people. Zero Time Dilemma. 9 people. We might get back to Stanley. I mean, that game last night was bonkers. I'll put a link at the end of this. I'll put it in the description as and when. So just fast forward to it or click on it and see what you think. Anyway, it is time to play, which I bargained for and did a lot of haggling, Zero Time Dilemma. Because I was like, oh, you're kidding me. I was going to play Astro Bot yesterday and someone bought it. And then you bought this today and I was going to play this tonight. So yeah, deal's been done. Hopefully it was worth the deal of doing. Anyway, let the play, as they say in a different world other than PlayStation. Because PlayStation is not the place where we are. No, we are playing this at PlayStation. Oh, shut up now, shall I just play the game. And it should be game. Therefore, it should be game. I've got the charger here because the battery ran out last night, so I'm going to shove that in there. Right then. So, hope you're good, Tough, by the way. Why's that not wicked? Oh, there we go. Options. I always get rid of the music. There isn't any music. There's always music. I spoke to people about the Stanley, whatever it was called, game in the shop today, and they're all like, everyone's heard of it except for me. What the hell? What the hell? How in a game shop? Why have I never heard of it? Here it turns out I hadn't, and I do. Or I do and I hadn't.
Hey, open up!
12th for the 31st.
Shit. What's wrong with you?
Someone's one-night mistake. A mistake?
Maybe Diana's.
This isn't the time for jokes.
Let me guess. That helmet can't come off, can it?
So creepy. I don't want it near me. Where the hell did this thing come from?
Forget it. Shouldn't we be trying to get out of here?
Impossible. This is a confinement room.
The bar's only open from the other side.
Nothing to do but ask whoever did this to let us out.
The mastermind's right there. That kid locked us up.
So he was the one who put these on us?
Yeah, okay, I get the idea. Everyone's got one of them on. You don't have to show me every...
It wasn't me.
It talks.
Right. Initial impression, out of 10, 0.
Life is simply unfair. Don't you think? There are moments when a single snail can make a world go extinct.
What?
Go extinct.
What the hell are you going on about?
Indeed.
Who are you?
And
Determine that eventually.
Why are you doing this?
I require
And
all of you to take part in
A game?
a game. With a
You should have game.
you, me, and the human race in the balance.
Fuck that!
Huh?
Let's get started, shall we?
We should have game. We should have game. We should have game. Don't drop it. Whatever you do, don't drop it. Oh, he tossed it. Right, they're on Mars. They're not in the Savannah Desert. Well, some might say that, yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Beneath my foot, there's a coin.
No
One
shit,
side is
Sherlock.
red, while the other side is blue.
Right.
Which side of the coin is facing up? Make a guess. However, you only get one chance.
Nice t-shirt.
Do we get something if we get it right?
You're freedom. I promise that I will release all of you.
And what if we're wrong?
You won't lose. You'll have to stay in the gang until at least 6 of you are dead.
What? Let's go with blue.
It's red.
Right, red. It's gotta be red.
50-50 chance. The odds for each are the same. Then we should vote.
No sh.
I can't believe you guys.
Kane's right. You're just going to do what he says?
What do you think, Carlos? You are the leader of this group. I will take your decision as everyone's final answer.
What are you talking about?
I'll let Carlos choose.
Pick red.
It's blue.
So what do you say, Carlos? No, Carlos!
Don't answer him!
So my Carlos then.
Time to choose, Carlos. You are that solitary snail.
As we said before, I've left many of snail trails in my underwear in the past. Oh, it's turned into Banzai TV. Left or right? Blue or red? Red or blue? Make your decisions. Time is running out. Whatever I choose is going to be wrong. I mean, let's be honest. What's the point? The choice is made. Banzai! Who had that DVD in?
It's red.
Oh, right, there we go.
See?
It was all the...
Didn't I say it'd be red?
Yeah, whatever.
Well done, Carlos.
Are you some kind of clairvoyant?
Yep.
It was just luck. I had a 50% chance. It's not too hard to get it right.
Hey, hold on a sec.
Okay, sure, you lucked out with your guess. But what if you had gotten it wrong?
What does it matter? Everything worked out fine.
Yep.
So, are you going to make good on our deal?
No.
Fear not. I'm a fair person. I promised to release you, and I shall. But before that, I apologize, but you must all sleep.
Sleep?
When next you wake, you will have forgotten everything that just happened here.
Why would we forget?
I wonder. Pleasant dreams.
So there's got to be some gas that comes in. Oh, yeah. I mean, this so far this.
You're...
So far, it's got up to 1 out of 10. My future's formed with the change in the weather. We can work it out. Now the problem is, I haven't slept, I haven't been brainwashed, I know what happened. 31st of December.
Hey,
Oh,
hold on. Why are we outside?
I have no clue.
When I woke up, we were on the ground over there.
Huh? What is it?
Didn't we all have something attached to our left wrists?
I suppose we might have.
Coin.
yeah, just my muscles.
Nothing. Just saw an image of a coin flash in my mind. It was flipped and falling.
She's gotta die.
Come to think of it. Damn, I can't remember anything.
Me neither.
Neither can I. It somehow feels like I made a bet with someone, but
It's gone down to 0 again out of 10.
What kind of bet?
Did we all forget what happened?
Oh, if you forgot, he told you to forget.
Hey, could I ask all of you something?
Why are we in the middle of
Who
a
is
desert?
this kid?
Oh. Fair. Oi! What are you doing? Alright, I was actually starting the game now. Feels like the beginning of our tune. Do do do. What? Great, we saved it. Yay! I'll go and pleasure myself. What, I mean, what the hell? Big bongos. What's cracking? My mind, this game, is almost as weird as the game I played last night, which I may end up playing again tonight because, I'll be honest with you, this game is not doing anything for me at the moment. However, I shall endeavour to continue with the game. Because if it's in the game, it's in the game. First, what? Now it's time to choose whose fate you will follow. First select a team to continue the story. Okay. So we've got Team C, Team Q, and Team D. Team D. D team. So we've got C team, Q team, D team. I'll go with Q team because that's a weirder one. Each image you see is a story fragment. Only one is available to you now, but more will unlock as the story unfolds. Select any unlocked fragment to continue the story. When you find you are unsure how to control something in the game, press R2 to open the control guide. Okay. But what? Heads or tails? Coin toss win. Payoff. Okay. Payoff. So it's just repeating what I've already done.
Hold on. Why are we outside?
What? Huh?
No.
Catherine met Frank on a bus. It was the A47. It was going to Nagasaki, which was weird because they called the bus in northwest London. No. So I have no choice. I have to go here and go the other way. Oh.
Time to choose, Carlos.
Yeah, whatever. Banzai! Right, it went red last time, didn't we? We'll go blue this time. Don't say blue. Oh, you absolute wanker. Oh, it's red. Oh, they all look a bit panicky.
That's why I told you red.
Carlos, you asshole! You got it wrong!
Carlos.
What were you thinking?
Hey, wait a second. Carlos isn't the one to be blamed for all this.
Right. The person who started it is.
So, what now?
You should know already. You were wrong, so the game continues.
Until 6 people are dead, huh?
At least 6. It's possible there may be more than that.
Oh, right. Well, kill the kid.
Why don't we hurry and get this over with then?
Before you begin, I'm going to need all of you to go to sleep.
Oh.
Sleep?
When next you wake, you will have forgotten everything that just happened here.
Forget? But why?
There's no point in telling you now.
Because you'll forget.
Pleasant dreams.
Nighty night. Ugh. Oh. Ugh. Oh no, he's got his arm out of the thing. You should have gave. Oh, so I got, actually, you know, like in Far Cry 4, the one with the guy with the pink suit. 4. If you just stay in the room and it tells you to wait here, the game ends in about 15 minutes. So I've done by saying blue or red, whatever it was. And now we get the game. Should have game. Zero time dilemma. Should have game. The game it's in is the game it's in. Hiya, Alan. We're playing a game. The game is in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game. Oh, hiya. Hiya, what's going on?
Akane.
How does he know her? Oh, hiya.
Bastard! What the hell's going on? You brought all of us here.
No, it's not me.
Then what the fuck is that stupid thing on your head?
It's a
Let
bit
it
rude.
go, Eric.
Let
We
it
need to
go.
take it all out on the kid.
Let it go.
Mira.
I wonder what this is.
Give it up, Diana. It's better that you don't force it off.
How do you know?
Why do you say that?
Yeah,
You should listen to her.
it's like traitors.
She's seen it before.
That's what it was called a year ago.
Right, Akane?
Junpei.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you feeling?
Who's this?
I am Zero. The second Zero.
The second?
Let me make one thing clear. This is a recording. So don't bother asking questions as I cannot answer them. I'd like to tell you an old story. 17 years ago, on a rainy morning, a woman went jogging in a large park. Her usual route led her to a fork in the road.
Roots.
Normally she'd run down the right path, but for some reason, this day, she chose the left. Along the way, she bumped into a senior citizen she saw every day. Surprised to see her, they asked, "Why did you come this way today?" This was her reply. "Because there was a snail." Her body was discovered a few hours later. Murdered. They found her in some bushes along the left path. Sometimes, life is simply unfair. Don't you think?
Yeah,
What the hell is all this nonsense?
absolutely.
It's the same for all of you.
She got ripped
The
shit.
pull of an unjust fate carried you along to this moment, only to find yourselves in this bomb shelter 50 meters below ground.
Wait, what?
As you can see, this place is divided into 3 sections. Carlos, Akane, and Junpei. You 3 are in Ward C. You will henceforth be referred to as C-Team.
Should be Team C, got let you off.
Carlos.
Okay.
Next is Q, Mira, and Eric. You are located in Ward Q. Your name will be Q-Team. As evidenced by the name, the leader is Q.
Alright, okay.
Hey, wait!
Is this a joke?
And finally, Diana, Phi, and Sigma. Ward D is where the 3 of you are.
So Diana's gonna be the
Diana
leader.
is the leader. That makes you the D team. You may wander as you like, as long as you remain within your respective wards.
Okay.
There is a time limit, however. 90 minutes. Once 90 minutes are up, an injector in your bracelet will activate. An anesthetic and an agent to erase your memories will be administered.
Yeah, okay.
Memory erasing drugs?
As a result, you'll all fall into a deep, uninterrupted sleep.
Okay.
But you will also forget everything that occurred in those past 90 minutes.
Yeah, but I won't.
What?
The bracelet has an additional function. A watch. Pressing the buttons on each side simultaneously will display the time.
12, 10.
Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve.
Okay.
The year turns over in less than half a day. Unfortunately, very few of you will find yourselves able to welcome a new 2029. Take a look at the door. It's clearly marked with an X. Beyond this X door is a hallway with an elevator.
Okay.
The door is easy enough to open. Simply obtain the X-passes and enter them into the input device beside it.
Right.
6 X-passes are needed for it to unlock. 1 X-pass will be announced every time someone dies. In blunter terms, if 6 of you die, the rest will gain all of the passwords and will be able to open the next door.
Okay.
This is bullshit.
One caveat. The door remains open for only 30 seconds. Once that passes, it will automatically close and never open again. Oh yes. With this information, surely some of you at this point are thinking, how can I kill 6 people?
What? No one would.
I'll give you one opportunity. By majority vote, determine one team to execute.
What?
Do you see the computer in the corner of the room? The team names of your newfound enemies will be displayed on that monitor. Choose the team you've decided to eliminate. Each team gets 1 vote. The leader must submit it for the group. Your deadline is 13:30. Any team that hasn't voted before the time limit is up shall be penalized 2 votes. The group with 2 or more votes will lose. Every member of that team will be executed. Let us begin. This is the decision game, a game of fate. The lives of you, the human race, hang in the balance.
I don't understand the human race bit, but anyway. Oh, good on Q team. Prep room. What? Quantum computer dome. Okay. Pod room. Dial. What?
This is weird.
Yep.
There should be another room around here somewhere.
Let me see it. Hey!
Shut up!
He's got the right to see it too.
Mira,
Thank you.
It's pretty pointless to hang out here kicking our heels. Let's go back to the lounge.
what is this?
Let's inhibit the virus. Maybe someone's gonna remove or control some kind of virus.
Virus? What virus?
COVID.
About the vote, what will we do?
Don't ask me.
But if we don't do it, doesn't that mean we'll die?
Yeah. Even if C team voted for D team, and D team did the reverse, if we refuse, then we get 2 votes against us automatically.
And Q team would be killed.
I suppose that's true if this game is for real.
So you're saying it's a joke?
Don't you think that would make a whole lot more sense? The DCOM staff will probably pop through that door over there yelling surprise.
I get it! You're right. Then him being here makes sense.
I'm not actually doing anything, I'm watching this. Alright.
It was a closed environment for a group of people for an extended period of time. So how would that mess with the subjects mentally? That was what they were trying to investigate.
Oh, what made you sign up?
Tough question. It seemed like it'd be kind of fun, I guess.
Eric?
I joined because Mira wanted to.
That's it?
Well, maybe not entirely.
There might be a couple of other reasons.
I was wondering, who is Zero?
Oh, come on! Stop playing. You know everything, don't you?
I told you, I don't...
So you're gonna stick with the idea that this isn't some big surprise?
I don't know. I don't remember anything.
If this isn't a joke, then things are really serious.
Then you're saying one of the teams is actually going to be executed? But why would someone do that?
Zero said, it's a game.
So then he's a psychopath. This Zero guy's probably off somewhere enjoying seeing us freak out.
He could be that serial killer in the news.
That's that Heart Ripper, yeah?
Yeah.
Rumor is they killed 18 people, all in the past few years.
March 15th, 2026. The body of a young female was found in a park in Roseville. The victim's name was Virginia Bailey, age 28. The chest was ripped open and the heart entirely removed. It happened again on May 22nd, 2026. The body of a male was found in a trash can near a residence in Sacramento. The victim's name was Jeffrey Foray, age 37. His body was just like Virginia's, with the heart completely gouged out. 2 months later, on July 29th...
Hey, wait a minute. Don't you have amnesia or something?
Why do you know all this?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I knew.
You gotta be kidding me.
Mira, Eric, what's going on between you two?
Going on? Well...
Are you in love?
Idiot? No, we're not.
We're not?
Well, we're not, but... Wait, what?
You know, I've been trying to figure something out for a while. What is this thing?
Maybe it's a gift from Zero.
So what, you think there's assorted teas inside?
Gifts don't have to be a good thing, do they? Hey, what the hell? Stop! What if it's some kind of bomb?
A bomb? I don't think it is. Oh, something's on the back. I think this is upside down. So this would be the front.
Force quit box?
Guess it stopped something.
Look, there's also a keyboard.
Looks like you're supposed to input a code of some kind.
And if we get it right?
Then something will be forced to end?
But what?
Maybe your life.
What was that sound?
It came from that way.
Let's go!
Gab? How did you...
You came through the vent. It's too dark. I can't see anything.
Why don't you go in?
I can't.
Just do it, will ya?
See?
You didn't have this stupid thing on your head.
Hey, check this out.
There's something inside the case.
Is that a coaster? Oh, there's something on it. Hello, Carlos here. C-Team is voting for D-Team. So D-Team should vote for Q-Team, and Q-Team for C-Team.
What does this mean?
Don't you get it? They're saying to spread the votes.
Huh? Spread?
I get it. If each team ends up with 1 vote each,
The whole thing is a tie, and no team will be executed.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, now we have a plan. Let's do it.
But wait.
Why should we wait?
Well, what if this message hasn't been delivered to D-Team yet?
You're right. The position of this vent does imply it only connects towards C. I doubt Gab's made his way toward D yet.
We need to figure out how to notify D-Team then.
Hold on a sec. I'll get a pen and cheese. There was some at the bar, right?
A pen?
And cheese?
That should do it.
What exactly are you doing? Oh, I get it.
Honestly, don't know how much more of this I
Ward
can
C
take.
and Ward Q have connected vents.
Then Q and D are probably connected as well.
Yep. We just need to take the cheese and...
It's all on you, Gab.
Think it'll work?
I'm sure it will.
Thought mice like cheese, not dogs.
5 minutes until the deadline.
I wonder if Gab made it to Ward D or not.
Even if he did, who knows if Diana will vote the way it says in the note.
What? You think she'll betray us?
It's not outside the realm of possibility. I don't even want to consider the alternative.
Which is?
That the whole letter from C-Team is a trap.
Trap?
They could have written it, but maybe Carlos is planning to vote for Q-Team instead.
Hey, wait a minute now. That's not good. At all.
You said it. If I'm right, then we need Diana to do the opposite of what it says.
What? But...
The deadline to vote is in 3 minutes.
The vote has to be decided by the leader, but...
what should we do?
We don't have time for a committee.
Then we'll just have to use force.
Hey! Wait!
Banzai! Time to decide. Team C or Team D? Team C, Team D. Team C, Team D. Who you choose? Team C, CT, CT team.
Your vote has been accepted.
Following the note, huh?
I guess it's fine. It's not like it was a bad choice. Now we wait and see what exactly Carlos and Diana do.
this plan doesn't work, then there are two outcomes that could happen. Either the 3 and C team die,
Or we're the ones executed.
No, there's one more possibility.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Someone is definitely tricking us.
So it is you!
90 minutes have passed. Your time limit has ended. Sleep well, as the next game will begin when you awake. Unfortunately, the team who receives 2 votes will be unable to participate. One final thing. You've gone through with the vote exactly as I commanded. You deserve a reward for obeying. The memory loss drug will not be injected into the premium. When you next wake, those who survived will be able to regret the decision they made. As all members of a single team will perish as a result of the vote you entered. Pleasant dreams.
Does that mean they killed us? Oh, for God's sake.
So this is the last room.
Yes. We've checked everywhere we could.
It's just as Zero said, huh? There's no way to get out, except by opening the X door.
50 minutes left until the vote deadline.
Alright,
Tell me
okay.
you want to vote.
How can we not? If we refuse, C-Team gets 2 votes automatically. We'll die.
But
Hey, do you think this could be part of the experiment? DCOM's whole psychological test.
Nope.
What? Why?
That masked guy called himself Zero. I have no clue why he's here, but he's for real.
You know
So
what?
that means
I
he's
agree with you,
actually
Tough.
willing to kill off a whole team?
Yeah.
But how?
Enough is enough. And I feel that I've kind of let myself down by allowing myself to keep this game. This is possibly one of the worstest games I've played for a considerable length of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the game. You can't see this, but I've deleted the game because it's rubbish. And we're going to go back. We're going to go back. Back into time. Back to the Stanley, whatever it's called. The that game was so fucking slow. I could have eaten some cheese. Doesn't even make sense because I don't like cheese. Anyway, what time is it? Hello, Drew Frequency. It is 23:58. Hang on, hang on. Right, will it remember that I've already played? Before we get started, can I just say something? Go on. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously, they just leave the clocks. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. I did wonder what relevance it had. That's how I know you care about this experience, you're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Brilliant. Tell me what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, I'll just set the clock to your favourite. Go ahead and pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Let's get back to the video game now. Yes, indeed. The Stanley Parable 2. Oh yeah, we moved on, haven't we? So if you weren't watching last night...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
That's all that matters.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh.
Something that would forever change Stanley.
Oh,
Something
no.
he would never quite forget.
Oh.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Quit the game and then come back and have another go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There's no
Stanley
bucket, haven't
decided
there?
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where's the bucket? Oh, there's the bucket. Do I take the bucket or do I not take the bucket? I'm not going to take the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, look at it.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
It is fantastic.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
They are pretty paintings.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Rude. That's a nice
Stanley sat
painting.
around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Right, I'm going to leave that running whilst I go for a wee-wee. I'm not going anywhere else, I'll come straight back, don't worry. Just let me know if there's any more dialogue, or if it's just sending me a message. Any more dialogue? Just washed my hands and then realised I didn't have a towel, but then I remembered got a towel in here, so I'll use that towel. Right then, let's get back to this nonsense. It's like it's basically second guessing me on everything I do. I'm not a number, I'm a person. You missed last night, Drew Frequency. No, you didn't. You were in last night, weren't you? Sure, you were, Drew Frequency. You were probably busy with your Valentine's Day, to be fair.
He had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Excellent. Okay, so... Because later on, that platform's got a... what's it got on it? Oh, it's got a
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
scaffolding around it so you can't fall off.
The meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Well, it is.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yep.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Just seeing if the minute hand
Perhaps
moves.
this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge...
The minute hand is moving, isn't it? The minute hand is actually moving because it was touching the floor literally a minute ago. Okay, that's attention to detail. We like that. There's absolutely no point whatsoever, but you know. Yeah.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge.
Yeah.
And they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take...
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, is this my flat? I've been to the flat before. Oh, there's a bucket. There's a bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Oh, going back to... Oh, right, okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
I'm not ignoring everyone in my life except you. No. Not happening.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. from now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid.
And
Like
solid.
better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
What? Was it to really kick me out of the game? Because it gets to the stage now where I think that was actually part of the game. Oh. Hi, Alice. I am a free man. I am not a number. I am a free man. Oh, time. What time is it? Oh, what time is it? Let's have a look. Oh, 16. $12:16. Your favourite time of the day. Oh, I could simply not resist giving me the correct time again. Absolutely. After all, I know which you enjoy setting the time correctly. Getting curious how many grades was. I doubt. Accurate. It's very accurate. There you go. You know, I can just see, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. A little more about you and things you like to be set. It's good to collect data. Or data. Wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I could invent some new sliders. Yep. Shouldn't be too hard. Let me whip you a couple of new ones up now. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay,
yeah.
From the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had...
There's no bucket. And the balloons have all gone.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or...
No.
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Eh?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, for God's sake.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Stanley Parable a 2.
Simple as that. No, I'm done. We're living it up to the line from now on. You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do not... Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Yeah, it's getting a bit samey from last night, to be honest. It's been out for a long while, apparently. You listen to what it says in the game. It's in the game.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Thing is, the door takes you to the same room.
What's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Let's see if we get anything for switching it on for a third time. Because it's getting a bit repetitive. It was not about new things. Which of the two words, made-up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtush or occupina? Yes, definitely Scrumtush.
This is the story.
Right, balloons are back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
His
Stanley
bucket's
decided
back.
to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What the hell?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Not the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Keeps...
I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about?
This is vibrated.
Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
A lot.
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Sounds like my ex on Valentine's Day.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Oh, I hope. Sorry. Right.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
Yep.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. No. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There.
Right.
Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. So we're in a broom cupboard. Right out of a broom cupboard.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, in which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Of course you did.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
So it's got the stickers on it now, which it didn't have before when I first picked it up.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Right, okay. So we're repeating ourselves at the minutes.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh no.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Right, we've seen that bit, so we'll close the game. And then we'll start the game again. See if we get anything different. Well, this will be it. Whatever happens now, this is the last go. Well, yeah, I would say I noticed when I was during COVID and during the year off I had from work while I was waiting for a new unit, time means nothing. figured that out. Right, so we've got no narrator.
All of his co-workers were
No.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Right, will I have... What will I have down here?
He wanted to wander about and get even further
Right,
off
no.
track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Okay. So I've done that.
From here, it's,
Start a game again. Right.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Okay.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanley? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Thank you. Yeah.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
But what happens if Stanley turns round and walks
The
all the
door
way
was not
back?
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. Of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Oh yeah, everyone's life is under someone else's control. Keep up.
Utterly blind to the world? Was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all. And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
God damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps the good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Definitely
The
bucket.
elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Indeed.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except
the buckets.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving it there. I mean, we've had a bird ending. You can't get better. You can probably get better, but I don't think you can get better than a bird ending. What absolute nonsense. Yet, at the same time, genius. So, yeah, we'll forget about Zero Time Dilemma, because that was a bit pants. But we're loving this. Alice, great game, yes. Drew Frequency, Tufts TV, Alan Barton, Big Bongos. That's it for the people who've chatted. We had 49 views, 2 likes, got 6 people watching at the minute. It's been a stream that's gone on for a bit longer than anticipated. 2 hours and 3 minutes. It's now after 1 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So I'm definitely going to leave it there. So what I'm going to say is thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. And all being well. Bye, Stanley. Stop calling me Stanley. I've never been called Stanley. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being called Stanley, I'm sure. But no, I've never been called Stanley. Until, well, I was, yesterday you called me Stanley. So I suppose I've been called Stanley before. Anyway, I'll be seeing you. Till next time. Bye.